Hello students, welcome back. In this section, I am going to discuss another interesting topic, and that is reward system and performance management. In the last lectures of performance management, we have seen so far that how the performances are managed and what is the process of performances and what managers has to do to take the best out of their employees and how employees are expected to work at the place so that they will communicate all their issues to the managers. So in performance interviews, in the last lecture we have seen why these interviews are so much important for both the parties and the organization. So which allowed them to express their feelings about the problems faced in the job, and also the managers had the opportunity to know what exactly their employees think. So when these interviews are conducted on an yearly basis, reward system is reviewed twice a week sometimes. Fine. So it is also sticked, or we can say it is the next step which is attached to the performance or appraisals, right? So when the appraisals happen, the next step is to appraise them. So how one is going to appraise them? When the employees score some points after filling their forms and being evaluated and scored, they get different ranks. Now when these ranks are got, one person getting the highest rank is entitled to have specific rewards and accordingly. So when these rewards are given, they need not to be financial rewards. So in this lecture, we are going to understand three things. First, what is the concept of reward? Second, what is the role of reward system in the performance management? And third, the model developed by Buckinghamshire County Council to explain the total reward approach. So these three things I am going to cover here. So let us start with understanding reward. What is reward for you? When you say, okay, you will be rewarded, you will feel good, right? So whenever we hear this word reward, it brings some aspirations and pleasure things in our mind. We become happy, we feel joyous that yes, we are going to get something. So getting something is a mental process, and it's a feeling that the brain has stimulated in your mind that okay, now you are on the receiving mode for something. So for something here means the performance, and receiving means here financial or non-financial reward. We will prominently talk about the non-financial rewards in this lecture. So what is reward? It's a neural structure in the brain, obviously, that creates the motivational desires. It conditions the brain to work for that desire and pleasure which is going to be received after that particular act. So it is nothing but a stimulus. This stimulus in the mind can be arising out of various things. Those can be, this is stimulus, we can say it can be any object by seeing which one gets motivated or feels rewarded, event, activity, situation. Now let me explain this in brief and we will move to the next section. So what is stimulus? So sometimes one is hungry and watching a very good recipe shows, one will feel okay, now I want to have some food which is tasty, delicious, juicy, or which is very full of gravy, steamy. And as I am saying these words, you might be imagining in your mind that oh okay, I am also feeling hungry. So these words are stimulating. Sometimes the objects can be stimulating. So watching or looking at the ice cream's image, you will feel like having ice cream. Or some people just dream to reach some destinations in their life. So Mr. Akash can say, I want to go and see Mansarovar. So he just want to be at one place, and that one place, going there just by looking at the place or looking at the videos of that Mansoro place, he is getting stimulated and he might set it as his life goal. And what will be the reward? He will not feel rewarded until and unless he actually visits that place. So that can be any object, event, activity or situation. So sometimes the major events in one's life can be rewardful. So getting married, having children in the house, or having your housewarming, or making your own home, these are some events, and these events are rewardful. So when one person achieves this reward or these situations, or they reach to that particular desired place, they feel rewarded. So this reward is an emotional thing, and it's a bit of psychological concept which is stimulated by the neural structures in the brain. Now this is the concept of reward. Fine. What it does. So when we are stimulated, when we look at any object, when we have something in mind, and or we want to reach any situation, it has the potential, that desire itself has a potential to make you act and approach there. So one who wants to achieve the Olympic gold medal will definitely be stimulated by imagining that yes, I want to win that gold medal, and to reach that particular moment, he will engage his whole life. He will work hard, he will do all the trainings, he will take care of his health and nutrition, he will follow the coach, and he will sacrifice all the other things just to reach that goal. So this is the power of that stimulus, that object, event or any imaginary situation which makes you feel rewardful when you achieve that. Okay, so this is rewards concept. Now, why it is so discussed in performance management? Because when your employees are performing for your organization, you are offering them the salary, right? You are offering them better healthy conditions, as we have already studied in 14 principles, right? Principles of management. So when Henry Fayol says that yes, there should be unity of command, there should be healthy working condition, division of work, team spirit, and etc. So these all are obviously maintained by all the organization, and apart from that, they are giving them some salary also, and this salary or wages are in the exchange of efforts that are extended by that particular person for the organization. So it's a give and take. Efforts are being exchanged for the money or in the form of salary or wages. So what makes non-financial rewards work so much for the organizations? Why they are required? Let us understand. These non-financial rewards are in the form of, they may be recognition, they may be trainings, they may be extra development programs arranged for that person, they may be additional responsibilities over their salaries which are being given to the person, so imagine that when the person gets any of these four or similar words, how he will feel? He will feel rewarded. He will feel belonging to that particular organization or work. And why it is so much important? So I would like to take you back to the theory of motivation, which says that the person is motivated by few things. And also, we will discuss in short the theory, need hierarchy theory. So what is the need of the person? It is also mentioned as Anna Kosh, Manomay Kosh and similar terms which can be found in the Vedas also. So the need hierarchy theory says that the person's self-development needs will not be stimulated unless and until his basic needs are satisfied. So one person who is hungry and who is starving will not think of sitting into the car and going for a long drive or travel anywhere, right? So there is a need hierarchy which stimulates the person to achieve more and more. Likewise, when we say that every person has the need for power, has the need for affection and belongingness, that means one person wants his basic needs satisfied. Apart from that, he needs to feel secured, so that he will have some investments, insurances, some reserved money for contingent situations. Once these are also fulfilled, he will be needing for his self-image in the society, so he will be maintaining all the things which are similar or which are required or maintained by the society he is living in. And after that, once he is secured this satisfactory position as per him in the social circle, then he will slowly move ahead to the self-esteem and self-actualization needs. So here, when we talk about salary, that salary is providing that person to satisfy his basic needs, his social needs, and also some of the social, basic and security needs, and some of the social needs. Now here, once he gets into that third category of satisfying his social needs, you can relate those needs to these rewards. This is a beautiful connection, you can say, and that is why whole theories of HR are so interrelated. You can connect them very beautifully, and see, we have come from need, hierarchy and motivation theory to connect this. Now the total reward approach is also based on the same thing. They say that there is an engagement of the employees. In this engagement, it's a partial reward where you are imparting, the organization imparting organizational values. For example, when people join Tata Groups, any company, they first encounter or they are informed with the Tata values. They have a 4 days intense program which is very much dedicated to let people or the new employees know what are the values which are followed, practiced by Tata Group. So that is a 4 days dedicated program. So here, when we engage the employees, we are imparting organization's value, we are making them learn and develop. So learning and development programs are there. Then we are also ensuring as an organization to increase the quality of work, to ensure that every person would perform as per the standard quality norms. Growth opportunities are being provided, so we can say promotions are there when we talk about performances. So appraisals are forming the basis for their promotions. So career growth and opportunities are being provided to every employee so that the employee retention is possible. So no company wants that every employee should come and go once their work is done, because that is very costly, that is not giving any, that is not also in line with the values of the organization, and employees being the stakeholders of the company, they will not be satisfied if the company is building such image over a period of time. So it becomes very important for that organization also to retain its employee. So retention policies also lays down various engagements or activities. Then we also count the contribution of the employees towards the organization, and this can be noted down by the immediate supervisors or managers, and also the employees, as we all know, that given an opportunity to note them down in their appraisal forms. Work-life balance, recognition and long service rewards. Some companies provide these long service rewards where if a person completes 4 years, 5 years or 10 years period in particular organization, additional benefits can be given to him. Those may be monetary or non-monetary benefits. They can send them to training if training on the cost and the cost is bear by the company and so on. Or they can straight away give vouchers, cash vouchers, or expenses vouchers which can be used by the person to the specific places. So there is recognition also. So every company holds reward and recognition function on an annual basis. So in these functions, for all the employees who have performed beyond expectations, beyond standards, they are being rewarded and recognized. So this is one. So an employee can also look for that one moment where he will be getting a certificate or reward or recognition in that R&R function. So when employees start working at particular organizations, they also get gelling and they also set their personal goals with the organizational's various functions or facilities like these. So one may think of, yes, I want to win that one certificate in that R&R moment, and I will be having my photo frame with my operations or operations head or plant head having that certificate. So that one moment, that one event in his mind is stimulating his performance throughout the year. So that recognition matters. If he values that recognition, he will perform for that. So let us talk something about work-life balance. How the work-life balance is a big question for all the employees in all the fields nowadays. Because as the markets are getting very stringent and competition is tougher, all the organizations are running their employees on the toes, and it is even the women are more in numbers now to the workplaces. So at their homes, it becomes very difficult for them to adjust all the things. So work-life balance would talk about the flexible timings or working hours and so on. So these all are nothing but the engagements that are offered by the organization. The model talks, second thing is benefits. For these engagements, what benefits are being provided to the employees? Those are holidays, loans, professional subjects, pensions, vouchers, healthcare facilities, maternity leaves, these all types of leaves. If organization is, sometimes these leaves are credited on their accounts, but they are not fully utilized. So this may be that they will allow them to take the benefits of all these facilities provided by the organization. So one category is engagement, other is benefits, and third is basic pay, which is very, very core of everybody's salary. That is the basic pay, basic salary, which is given, we can say, in the exchange of the efforts provided by the employee. So first comes basic pay, second is some additional benefits which are very common in all the organization. In addition to basic and benefits, what other engagements are provided by the organizations that matter, and those are, as per this model, are considered to have a reward approach for the performances approaches. So this is about I have not covered all the topics regarding the performance management and reward system, but so far I have tried to cover the concept of reward so that wherever you go, you will at least have a fundamental idea that what makes a person to act accordingly. Fine, and how organizations can use these stimuluses to be imbibed in their minds and get the work done. So friends, until and unless I bring you the next management lesson, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.